Gamescom, the world's largest computer and video game event held annually in the west of Germany. Gamescom is used by many video game developers to exhibit upcoming games and game-related hardware. Here you can discover new and unreleased games and see what other people came up with. And this year not only am I going to Gamescom, but I'm also presenting my own game. But first, how did this all happen? A couple months ago, a game designer, a game developer, and I, the illustrator, made a game called Little Chef. It's a fun little browser cooking game where you can cook different breakfast dishes. It was a small side project to put on our portfolios at the time. Later on, our game designer actually studies in a university that can help and showcase the game at Gamescom, with basically no charge, which is an opportunity you just can't pass by. I've been unemployed for quite some time, and this would be a nice way to showcase my work, and maybe find a job opportunity, and make a few connections. And so, off to Gamescom we go. Gamescom is held in Cologne, the largest city of the German western state of North Rhine-Westphalia. And to get there we took the train. That was 20 minutes late as always. And here we are, Gamescom. Today is preparation day. So firstly we need to find our booth, get lost and distracted on the way, and finally find it. Hall 10.2, the indie area. And this is it. To be honest, way more underwhelming than I imagined. Especially compared to the epic, colorful indie area that is right next to us. But you know what they say, we don't look in the gifted horse's mouth. This wasn't a gift, but this was basically free, so I really can't complain. We just needed to upload our game to every computer just in case something happens. But our main station was in the right deep corner, under our beautiful poster. After we were done, we walked around the area a little bit, and we ended the day off with a free banana. Today is the best day to visit Gamescom. Why? Because today Gamescom is only open for game makers and the press. Even though it looks a bit crowded here, when you pass through the gates it's super chill and relaxing. Nevertheless, we first had to set up our booth since we're doing the morning shift from 9 till 2:30. Everything seems to be in order, so our game is ready to be played. We are sharing the space with quite some people. 6 of the spaces are reserved for students and the rest I'm not too sure about. In total there were 12 games you could play. Some were passion projects made in a game jam, and some were full-fledged games made by game companies with employees and stuff. The build of this area was not great, to be honest. Not only was it uninviting to play our game, since it was displayed right in the back, but also sadly the games behind these pillars were left very unnoticed. So everything felt blocked off. But our stand had a gigantic TV showcasing all the games you could play. Unfortunately, our game trailer was the shortest one of all, 20 seconds, while most other trailers were around 1 to 2 minutes. At the time it felt like a good idea to make it short, but now I realize that we're just losing on real estate, and not a lot of people see our game. But there's not much we can do. They did give us free food and drinks, so I can't really complain. Today the main people that played the game were our neighbors, that were also presenting games right next to us. And we also played their games. And the ones that most spoke to my heart was this cat game that reminded me of Shrek 2 game, where you had to play as Puss in Boots, and this cute foraging game that has Animal Crossing vibes and overall is very cozy. My colleague and I took shifts while standing next to our game, so one of us could explore Gamescom a little bit more. If you never visited Gamescom like me, and didn't really know if it's Gamescom or Gamescon, then you'll be shocked at how huge this place is. Like, it goes in Steno style. I thought our indie area was big, but this place is just gigantic. Each day I was collecting around 20,000 steps. My legs were hurting a lot. And sadly there's almost no place to sit. In total there are 7 halls you can visit, 10 if you have the business pass. So Gamescom had multiple entertainment areas where there were big companies like Nintendo, Xbox, Ubisoft and Netflix. The merchandise area where you can find plushies, wigs and pillows and epic cosplay people. The indie area with a lot of indie games. Right next to the retro area, which I didn't even know was a thing. Then we have the family-friendly area, where you can get free Lego, the business area, where everything looks more clean and businessy, the outdoor area, where there were many overpriced food trucks. I think this is one of the most craziest places I have ever visited. It's like an amusement park, but for gamers. After our shift was done, we reunited and stayed here until 8. Thursday is when the chaos begins, because now Gamescom is open for the public. After Wednesday, every day getting to Gamescom was a pure struggle. The trains were late and packed to the brim. Unless we would arrive before 9, it was just a hassle to get there. And I bet getting a hotel here at this time is just impossible. Thankfully, we had some acquaintances that live here, the ones that have a very cute turtle. And so today we had a later shift, so we arrived at 10, and we had 4 hours to explore this place and get free stuff. Yes, if you didn't know, at Gamescom you can get a lot of free stuff. And you don't even need a special pass to get these things, anyone can get them. You can get them by either playing a mini-game, or collecting stamps, or just standing in line. Oftentimes to participate you had to scan a QR code. And I'm not a big fan of QR codes, because you need Wi-Fi. And there is no Wi-Fi, so I don't want to use my internet. I feel like there's a better way than have QR codes, but I'm not a scientist, I'm just a hater, I guess. The game developer and I were joined with the expert of getting free stuff. So we got a lot of goodies from today and yesterday. If you had a Nintendo account, you could get free Mario pins. At the Netflix booth, you can get your makeup done, free tote bag, a free slice of pizza, and an alcohol-free gin slushie that did not taste that great. One of them did, but the rest was just terrible. And you could also take pictures of the show sets like Wednesday or Squid Games, that Netflix made more money out of than the actual creators. So that's cool. At Xbox you could get a temporary tattoo, and I think later on I discovered that you can also get a real tattoo somewhere. That's pretty crazy. Then at the indie area you could get a lot of free stickers, and I also got some free socks and a bath bomb. And I also met a subscriber of mine that was promoting their game here, and they gave me a free notebook. So that was very nice of them. But I think the best goodie bag that I got was from playing House Flipper 2. Not only did I get a tote bag, a keychain, a pin, and measuring tape, which is very fitting to the game, but I also got a free game? Hello? So now I'm kind of addicted to playing House Flipper. It's a very nice game. At 2:30 we had to go back to our station to showcase our game. Today we had a lot of friends visiting Gamescom, and a lot of them also played our game, and they seemed to enjoy it, so that's nice. Plus we had our first person unlock all the recipes, which was a great success. We realized that our game looks kinda boring on its own, so to make it more inviting, we decided to cook one recipe to have this idle animation playing. So now it looks nice and shiny. To be honest, there wasn't much traction happening. I mean, as I mentioned before, the booth setup is not that great. And another issue was a lot of people were just lingering here and not making room for people to actually play the games. I don't really blame them because we didn't have anywhere to sit and we had to stand next to our game. But people have to be actually determined to squeeze through the other games to actually go and play our game, which is not so convenient. It's a shame because I think our game is pretty nice. And if you would like to play it, I also have it linked in the description. But our game and the neighbors' games weren't the only games that we played. What's fun about Gamescom is that you can discover many new games you have never heard about. This game that had a gigantic line of people waiting to play it day and night. Or now I discovered that One Punch is actually working on a game. And it's a bit disappointing, to be honest. I'm a big fan of cute games like Animal Crossing, Bear and Breakfast, The Sims, GTA. But the top games I played here was the wholesome out and about game, House Flipper, and the Pizza Possum, where you and your possum friend try to eat as much as possible and not get caught. Plus we also got a cute pin in the end. And if you know me, then you know that I love pins. On Friday I took a day off. I just relaxed and walked around Cologne. But Saturday is the most crowded day of all days, because the place will be full to the brim. It's insane how many people were there at Gamescom. In total, there were 320,000 visitors this year. That's a lot of people. It can be overwhelming, but there were a lot of spaces where you could just exist without being smooshed. I noticed that a lot of them were wearing black with some kind of graphic tee. It's like a uniform. And a selected amount of people were actually cosplaying. Honestly, I was highly impressed by the people that wore something airflow restricting or they were carrying around big items. But it looked really fun. They also had catwalks to showcase the outfits. That was pretty fun. I expected Gamescom to be more international. But I would say by my calculations that is not based on any data whatsoever, like 70% of people were German or German speaking. I mean, it makes sense, it's in Germany. But as it is the world's largest computer and video game event, I just thought it would be more international. So if you're looking to improve your German, then you might be interested in today's sponsor. Do you find it hard staying motivated learning a language? Are you frustrated due to can't see any progress? Well, no fear, Lingoda is here.
Lingoda?
Lingoda is an online learning language platform where you can level up your language skills. They offer sprints and super sprints where you can immerse yourself in the language for 2 months and actually see results. What's more, if you successfully complete these challenges, you get 50% of your money back. What a steal! Lingoda is flexible and convenient. You can choose topics you want to learn about, and classes are available 24/7. And each class is up to 5 people, providing an interactive classroom experience. When I was exploring Cologne, I accidentally sparked up a conversation with a guy working at a kebab store. In German. I personally don't feel that confident speaking in German, but somehow this conversation ended up being quite nice. I understood most of it and he seemed to understand me, and by the end of the day I felt proud by the interaction I had. So what are you waiting for? Use my link in the description to start your Lingoda language learning journey with a little discount. This was our last day presenting the game. We had an early start from 9 AM till 2:30. We realized that we could also make some improvements to our stand. Even though I dislike QR codes, having some kind of call to action is very important. Our game is free to play, and unless we don't tell it to people, they have no idea. So I made a little note on the monitor and on the poster. We noticed that everybody's first recipe are pancakes. So it's best to have something else other than pancakes as our idle animation to attract people to play it. We realized that we should have printed some kind of congratulations card for people that found all the recipes. I printed some business cards for myself, but it would be nice to give something to people as a little gift for playing our game. Earlier we did look at making stickers, but it was way too expensive and not worth the quality. Then we also removed the keyboard since we just need the mouse and tilted our screen so it's a little bit more visible. Today we had a couple of random visitors that played our game, and they really seemed to enjoy it, so that was really nice. And interestingly enough, even though we considered this to be a polished, ready-to-play game, we actually had some interesting discoveries since we had many people play test it. And these are some changes that we made. We changed the healthy pancake recipe because it doesn't make any sense and nobody can unlock it. And it's mainly my fault actually. People didn't really know that you can click on the recipe book and look at your recipes. So we fixed that by adding a little animation when you discover a new dish. And people didn't really know that you can put up to 5 ingredients. So we changed the order on how to showcase it. This was our last day at the Com of Games. And we had all our stuff with us because we were leaving today. But we managed to walk around a little bit more and then go home. And even though we went home pretty early, the train was packed. It's just crazy. And it wasn't even because of Gamescom. This train is so packed every week. I don't even know what the Deutsche Bahn is doing. Overall, I play games from time to time, but I'm not that in tune with the gaming world. So I was very glad to go to Gamescom with someone who's very into gaming and wants to become a game maker. Because of that, I was excited to see a lot of games that I would never play myself, but I have heard about them. And the first day we saw Hand of Blood, a YouTuber that I don't really watch, but I have heard about him. And he makes fun stuff. The creator of the Snap game. That's pretty exciting. Plus, we also got a lot of free stuff. In general, this was a very cool experience. Unfortunately, the setup of the booth wasn't the greatest, but we did the best we could. Also, sadly, neither of us got employed. A lot of the people in the career area were mostly Germans, looking for Germans, and some gaming companies just said to apply online. We didn't leave empty-handed, but we did leave opportunitively. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!